This is a comparison and contrast for Beowulf from the legendary poem Beowulf and Bodvar Bjarki, who is a bear warrior from the saga of King Rolf Kraki. Though both characters descend from similar legend, which is the Bear Son legend, they take on different roles in each story. The Bear Son legend is much more pronounced in Bodvar's story compared to Beowulf. It seems with Beowulf, the Bear Son legend really is in the background and gives an explanation as to why Beowulf has the strength of 30 men in one arm, and also to explain his name, which has been translated to Beowulf, meaning, a foe against bees. So Bodvar's beginnings. He was born the third child of triplets to Bera and Bjorn. Bjorn was a king's son, and he is cursed because he does not want to sleep with his mother. And because he refuses that, he is cursed to walk the day as a bear and reverts back to man at night. Bera wasn't of royal birth, but her father was a free man, so not a slave. And Bera is pretty smart and is aware that Bjorn has been cursed as a bear, and Bjorn warns her not to eat his meat ever, because he knows the implications that would have on their offspring. But, of course, Queen Vit, who is a sorceress, and the one that Bjorn has scorned, forces Bera to eat the bear meat, and this has profound effects on Bera and Bjorn's 3 boys. Bodvar equates to little bear. Just like I said, Beowulf could translate to mean Beowulf. And Bodvar is also said to possess the strength of 30 men, though that's in his entire body, not in just one arm like Beowulf. And we know that Bodvar's strength comes from his lineage of Bjorn the bear, but it also comes from his drinking of elk Frodi's blood. Frodi is one of Bjorn's older brothers. Frodi drew blood from his own calf, telling Bodvar to drink of it, and Bodvar did so. So we're not sure exactly where Beowulf's strength comes from, or it's not explicit in the story as it is with the story of Bodvar. Bodvar also at first doesn't look to go out and make himself a hero in the way that we assume Beowulf does. He at first is just content to stay at home with his mother, but naturally he is also curious about his absent father. And his mother tells him the whole story, and one of the important themes in literature of this time is vengeance. So now that Bodvar has learned that his father should be avenged, he goes out to seek vengeance against Queen Vit. And King Hring is Bjorn's father. He is definitely the weaker of the two. Queen Vit seems to rule him and not the other way around, which is also different from any of the women in Beowulf, who all seem to take a secondary role or more further from their husbands. So King Hring tries to entice Bodvar with things like land, money, and the promise of one day being king if he would just not kill his wife. But Bodvar wasn't having any of that. He placed the rough leather bag over her head. Then he pulled it down and tied it around her throat. He knocked her off her feet, and with beatings and torments sent her to Gel, dragging her through every street. And Bodvar is 18 at this time. We also do know of one adventure that Beowulf had in his youth as well, and that was the swimming contest with Breca in the open sea. And when Unferth challenges Beowulf and brings up the adventure, Beowulf seems almost rather abashed at being foolish at that age. He says, when we were just boys, we two agreed and boasted. We were both still in our youth, that out on the great ocean we could risk our lives, and we did just that. And that does seem more like a childhood adventure compared to Bodvar's, who is killing his kin. And Beowulf's adventure really isn't with killing kin the way it is with Bodvar. His adventure is with monsters. He focuses on killing them and not people, and not surprisingly, Beowulf also brings God into it. So how does Bodvar end up at the land of the Danes? We know that Beowulf hears about Hrothgar's strife at Heorot and decides to go there and be a champion. Bodvar comes about it a little differently. He goes to his brother Elkfrode's place, and it's Elkfrode who tells him to go to King Hrolf. All the foremost champions want to be with him. His generosity, as well as his magnificence and courage, exceeds by far all other kings. Bodvar rescues Hot, who is at King Hrolf's hall, and Hot seems to be this man of small account. So we do have in Bodvar, though, a warrior who seems to care about the underdog, the little guy, about fairness. Bodvar and Beowulf both come to possess magic swords. Bodvar is handed down to him, and it is stuck in the wall of a cave. His father has left it for him, and only the rightful person can grab it and take it, which happens to be Bodvar. Beowulf's magic sword comes to him when he is fighting Grendel's mother in her hall, and his own sword, or the sword given to him by Unferth, is not working against her. And it seems almost by divine intervention, there is this magic sword on the wall, and it is only that sword that is able to kill the kin of Cain. So while both of these men seem to descend from the legend and myth of the bear legend, there are a lot of similarities and differences between the two men. Bodvar seems to stick a lot closer to the legend of the bear's son, whereas Beowulf's connection to it is really one, in some respects, just to explain where this man gains his great strength.